Meeting to order. I call upon our active member, Surya Narayana, to start the meeting with our prayer. Over to Surya Narayana. Prayer, please. Please unmute, sir. Go ahead.
Prayer, heaven of freedom, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depth of the truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Good evening to everyone.
Thank you very much, Surya Narayana. Moving forward. Friends on same wavelength, Chennai, Annanagar chapter is welcoming you all for our 163rd meeting. That means we have completed 13 years, 7 months of inception. I take the opportunity of welcoming our fellow FOSWLians, ICC Cupertino, FOSWL Hyderabad, FOSWL Chennai Adayar, and my music group members for this meeting. And I also welcome our distinguished speaker, Sri SV Ramana garu, who has been here. He is going to give a lecture for today's meeting. He is a BA Honours graduate with the CAIA accountant's qualification and professional banker, and he is a retired DGM of Indian Overseas Bank, and he is very much interested in spirituality and an ardent disciple of Sri Satya Sai Baba Garu. With this introduction, now I call upon our Anand Kumar must have been there. He is the person, please unmute him. He is going to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ramana garu. I call upon our Professor Dr. R.V.S. Sharma, who happens to be our Vice President, to introduce our distinguished speaker, Ramana garu. Okay, over to Professor Sharma.
It's a pleasure to introduce your own self. So Ramana is my own self. So he
that's great.
Myself, in any way you look at it, not only the relations point of view, but from the point of view of the wavelength or the conduct of the life in such a disciplined and dedicated way. Words are just inadequate to summarize a person of his stature in a few minutes, but I don't want to stand between you and Mr. Murty. So I just briefly, as a formality, introduce him. Of course, the last one to be told is something different, but the first one is that he is a very dedicated person wherever you place him. And it is a sort of an asset to any organization wherever he works. This is including his alma mater, the IOB, where he worked for more than 40 years. And he retired as the Deputy General Manager in Bangalore. And he had a lot of accolades for his work during his entire career as a banker. And that is one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is more fascinating. And from the childhood days, he is very sincere and very sort of methodical and organized and interested in the welfare of others. With the result, he has taken the shoes of Satya Sai Baba Garu and followed his path. And Baba Garu is everyone is aware is that he is a preacher and teacher of universality and humanity and service. And Mr. Murty followed in letter and spirit the teachings of Bhagavan Sai Babaji. And it is nice that he is continuing this pursuit. Even after retirement, he took it on himself as a full-time engagement wherein now he is in a district of Rayagada. He is holding the entire district of Rayagada Satya Sai organization, and he is presently based in Rayagada and looking after the responsibility of the Samiti, and brought it up into such a level the last 5-6 years where he worked there, or even more. He has done several things which everyone can be proud of, and also can be punctuated as important landmarks in the history of Rayagada. So over to you, Mr. Murthy. And last one, I promised I will tell them that you are and I am your brother-in-law. Okay.
Oh, great, very good. It's
So
very nice to hear.
he
Very
was
nice
very
to hear.
kind enough to accept my sister as his consort. So with the result, I have become the brother-in-law of Mr. Murthy. And let
Okay.
Mr. Murthy continue with his talk now. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Sharmaji, for your great introduction. And once again, welcome Mr. Ramana garu. Now it's the time for him to deliver his lecture. All the members, I request you to keep your questions in discussion after his lecture. He will be very happy to answer to you whatever questions you are going to arise now. Now it is the time for Ramana garu to deliver his lecture, please. Over to Mr. Ramana garu. Go ahead, sir.
My heartfelt pranams to most respected Dr. V. Subramanya Sharma Garu, President, Friends on Same Wavelength, FOSWL, Annanagar Chapter, Chennai. My reverential pranams to my Guruji, Dr. R.V.S.N. Sharma Garu, the Vice President of FOSWL, and who is my childhood friend one way, my philosopher, my guru, and whatnot, everything, our heart and soul. If we equate our relationship as Krishna and Arjuna, he said, he is my brother, but I will say, he is my Lord Krishna and I am his Arjuna, following his footsteps and listening to his word every day and throughout my life. And he is now he is the founder president of Advaita Adhyana Bharati. He is our Guruji and I am his disciple and student learning Advaita Shastra from him. My reverential pranams to my Guruji, Dr. R.V.S.N. Sharma Garu, and who happens to be the Vice President of this FOSWL, and Sri K.R. Narayan Sir, Secretary, and Sri Anand Kumar Ji, Joint Secretary FOSWL, and other distinguished and learned members of FOSWL, and other participants who have joined this meeting today evening on online mode. I feel myself most honored and privileged and fortunate to share some of my thoughts on the subject, Seva as highest form of sadhana. Today's subject is Seva as highest form of sadhana. So let us start our discussion. Vivekananda, the modern saint, said, man is essentially divine. Man is essentially divine. Shankaracharya also propagated on the same lines, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya, Jiva Brahmaiva Noparaha. Hence it is said, Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. Because in human beings, in life only, man have the power of discrimination of good and bad, and are equipped to attain the liberation or the moksha, or from the bondage of birth and death. In this life only, man can become Manava to Madhava, or he may downgrade from Manava to Danava also. So unfortunately, man today has forgotten his divinity, which is his very nature, and regards life as intended only for the pursuit of selfish aim. Man seeks joy in far away places and peace in quiet spots. Let us read the sentence again. Man seeks joy in faraway places. He says joy is there in somewhere in Switzerland or somewhere and peace in Himalaya caves or something. But he forgets the very fact that the spirit of joy is in his heart. The world today is like a school with no teacher, a temple with no idol, a garden with no plants, an electrical wire with no current. Let us think over what is the use of all these things. People all over the world are trying to acquire power by amassing wealth, authority, and knowledge. But along with these, the treacherous egoism is also being accumulated. Thus, man is fast becoming the enemy of mankind and fast losing humanity itself. He is becoming less and less of a man and more of a demon. Selfishness, pride prevails in every sphere of life, because if you go by the sayings, today science is without humanity, commerce is without morality, politics is without principles, and education is without character. These are all not only useless but positively dangerous to the society. Education without character is so dangerous, we can think of ourselves. Today's science and education has taught man how to land in moon, but failed to teach him how to step into his neighbor's doorsteps who is in utter distress. Today, education broadens the mind but narrows the heart. Hence, there is no harmony in thought, word, and deed. So, despite all the happiness, all the pursuits, man is not at peace. If a modern youth sees a road accident, he is more interested in taking selfies or photographs on the spot and share mobile to his friends, but not interested in extending helping hand. So kindness, pity, sympathy, helping nature, sharing and caring are very rarely found. Education has become only for living, not for life. Friends, you may ask me the question, what relevance all this to our today's subject? Yes, dear brothers and sisters, dear fellow FOSWL brothers and sisters, it has a lot of relevance. Let us try to understand today's subjects on this background. So let us think for a while, what is life? Is it merely khana, pina, sona, and marna? Certainly not. Even animals are born and die like this. So that's why Shankaracharya in his Bhagavad Govindam has vividly told, Valyastavat Vidasakta Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta Vruddhastavat Chinta Sakta Parame Brahmani Kopina Sakta. In the childhood, he is busy playing with his friends. Krida Sakta. Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta. The young age, all these things, the marriage, the love affairs going on. Vruddhastavat, the old age, he is worrying. My son's marriage is not there. My daughter is not, marriage is not there. I health problems. So like that, his old age goes out. And Parame Brahmani Kopina Sakta. Nobody thinks of where from I have come. So that's why what happens? So he is in bondage of life and death. He is being the cycle of bondage of life and death. He rotates. That's why in another sloka he says, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jathare Sayanam, Iha Samsare, Bahudusthare, Kripaya Pare, Pahi Murare. So man, Punarapi Jananam, the mother's womb, it takes birth. Again Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jathare Sayanam, Iha Samsare, in this world, he spends his entire life under agony and unhappiness, and that's the only the remedy for it is he's telling Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. So man has to, yes, that is the Moha Mudgara, we call it, that from this worldly attachment, if you want to come out of it, this Bhaja Govind is our Moha Mudgara. So sole aim of life is to merge with divine, just like, because that is his very nature, just like Vivekananda told, man is essentially divine. Just like the sole aim of a river is to merge in ocean. Life is a big journey from I to we. Artha means from selfishness I to we should go for a we, and from we should go to he, or the ultimatum, the Paramatma, what we call the ultimate journey ends there. For this, our various paths are prescribed and scriptures. Mainly they are Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. They are all essential like three wheels of an auto rickshaw. We see if an auto rickshaw has to go, it has got three wheels. So unless three wheels are there, the auto rickshaw won't go. So, but these three are essential. We are not here today to debate which is superior, whether Bhakti Yoga is superior, whether Jnana Yoga is superior, whether it is Karma Yoga superior. But here we are here today to discuss about Seva and Sadhana. What is Seva and what is Sadhana, and how the Seva becomes the highest Sadhana? That is our topic of today. So before we are going to analyze on the Seva aspect, let us have some idea on Sadhana. What is Sadhana? Let us analyze. Then how the Sadhana and Seva are correlated, and Seva becomes the highest Sadhana. So regarding Sadhana, we all know what is Sadhana. Sadhana is a daily spiritual practice. It is an inward journey to attain the highest goal. And what is the essential features of the sadhana? Continuity and intensity are two important factors. An action that promotes harmony is a regular sadhana. When you commit to spending time with your higher self every day, your life becomes unique. Your efforts bear the imprint of your soul, and your radiance communicate the meaningful intimacy of the infinite in every moment. When you practice sadhana, you get intense and gratifying sensation of victory. Sadhana means daily spiritual practice. Sadhana used by yogis and yoginis in the context of their yogic practice. When we do sadhana, we are taking a step to create the life we want. Sadhana can be a commitment to wake up before the sun each morning. That is also a step. Suppose if you want to get up in the morning, you should have sadhana, willpower, otherwise you cannot do. So every act is a sadhana if it is done with dedication, if it is done with some utmost interest and for a higher goal. So when we speak of sadhana, immediately that comes to our mind is sadhana chatushtaya. So sadhana means it involves all the four. What are the sadhana chatushtaya? Nitya nitya viveka vichara. One means discrimination between the unchanging and the changing, permanent and temporary. So what is changing? The entire world, just like Shankaracharya told, Jagat Mithya Brahma Satyam. So that is the eternal, that is the ultimatum, and that is our pursuit should be there for the Nitya. And Anitya means all these things transient, is all Anitya, and we should have a discrimination and start our pursuit for the changeless and what is Nitya Suddha Buddha, that what we call it, that is eternal, changeless and everlasting. So that discrimination we should have. A sadhana, first step is Nitya Anitya Viveka Vicharam. Second comes the Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment from worldly pleasures. If you are attached to the worldly things, you can't have the salvation, you can't have the peace of mind. So we should develop Vairagya. Then some of them are the Sad Sampatti. So this Sad Sampatti means 6 attributes or 6 good qualities. They are called Sad Sampatti. What are they? They are Sama, Dhamma, Upatti, titiksha, shraddha, and samadhana. Sama means restraint of internal organs. This is for the mind. You should have mind control, we call that is sama. Dhamma is restraint of 5 organs, that is for our for indriyas, we call it. And antakarana, chatushtaya means mano, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. We should have this one also. Then what is mind? Mind that thinks, buddhi that decides and determines, and ahankara that identifies everything with itself, and chitta is of memory that remembers, that makes us to remember the past, which is the root cause for our all sorrows and agony. Then uparati is cessation of all worldly longings. Desires cannot be quenched by the fulfillment of desires. So the more the desire, the more you are unhappy. So it is said, God minus God, man minus desire is God, and God plus desire is equal to man. So desire increases by its fulfillment. When ghee is put on fire, it increases the ferocity of the flame. It does not make it cease. So knowing that, be calm and contented. This is called uparati. Then comes the titiksha, means a kind of endurance and tolerance that you have to exercise. You cannot expect everything to take place the way you want it to be. Where it is possible to change a thing, you can change it. When you cannot change a thing, you have to bear it. That's why the old saying says, give me the power to change what I can, the will to bear what I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that is called, so then comes the uparti is cessation of desire. Titiksha is tolerance in regard to conditions prevailing outside, natural as well as social. So Shraddha, then comes the Shraddha. Shraddha is the Saddhavan labhate jnanam tatpara sanjatendriya jnanam labdha param santi acharena adhigacchati. That's what our Bhagavad Gita says. Shraddha means, in a other sense, is a faith in that which you are asking for. Which, oh God, if you are there, please come. So we don't have the confidence that whether God is there or not. So God is certainly there. That faith we should have. That is called Shraddha. So first of all, we should have faith in ourselves. That is why it's called self-confidence is the foundation. We should have faith in ourselves, have faith in the art of progressive practice of sadhana. Suppose I'm undergoing some sadhana, japa, dhyana, or whatever it be. I should have the faith that, yes, this sadhana will take me to higher level. If I don't have the faith, then there is no use of undergoing all these sadhanas. So then we should have faith in God, faith in the scriptures, which are our guides, and ultimately faith in the Guru. We should have a Guru, whatever you like, and we should have Shraddha on them. Shraddha is faith in our own self first, faith in the methods of practice which you are adopting, faith in our Guru who is initiating us, and faith in the existence of God. So these are all required. Then comes Samadhana, is the concentration of mind. Always be attentive on that which you are seeking. Thou Viveka and Vairagya, we become clarified in our understanding. Through sixfold virtue, we become calm in heart and mind. Then come the last row, the last but not the least, mumukshatvam. That mumukshatva, that sadhana chatushtaya, the mumukshatvam comes. That intense longing for the highest goal. And it is not desire, they say. When you are longing for the merger, the river merges with the ocean, like our intense longing from where we have come, the Jivatma has come from Paramatma, and that is called mumukshatvam. By clarified understanding through Viveka and Vairagya, and by the discipline of Sat Sampatti method, know what is that you are longing for and ask from the bottom of your heart, it shall be poured upon you. So sadhana, that means these are all, sadhana means all sadhana chatushtaya, nitya viveka vichara, then Vairagya, samadama, adi Sat Sampatti, then comes mumukshatvam. So these are all rigorous steps. These are all, they involve us day in and day out. We should follow in a very, very systematic and vigorous way. Otherwise, sadhana will be incomplete. That's why it is called Sravana Manana Nididhyasa. So Nididhyasa means whatever we read, whatever we listen, we should put it in practice. So sadhana is a inward journey to attain the ultimate goal, and it needs vigorous practice and vigorous follow-up in our day-to-day routine life. So now, having understood sadhana to some extent, let us analyze, let us understand what is seva and how they both are correlated, how seva becomes the sadhana or the highest sadhana in other terms. So when we want to say, define seva, seva, it has got 4 words. S-E-V-A. S stands for service, E stands for excluding, V stands for vanity, and A stands for anger. So seva means you should not do something for advertisement sake, for prompt. Some people will praise you, some taking photographs, and you should not have anger. You should have a loving heart and a smiling face. When you do seva, your heart should melt with the sufferings with others. The prema, we call it, the love should be there. It is the very essence of a devotion. Seva is the very essence of devotion, the very breath of a devotee, his very nature. It springs from the actual experience of the devotee, an experience that convinces him all beings are God's children, that all bodies are altars where God is installed, and that all places are his residence. That what is the ultimate goal? The Sarva Bhutantaratma, we call it. That understanding the God is inherent in me, but same God is present in entire universe, whether it is living and non-living, that God or the Jivatma, the Parabrahma stays there. When you have that feeling, then you will not have any bad thing. Okay, the sadhana of seva is quite distinct. In seva, you devote all your energy and attention to the task at hand, where it is a fully dedicated task. You forget the body and ignore its demands. You set aside your individuality and its prestige and perquisites. We forget ourselves when we do. Then mainly more important is we pluck our ego by its roots and cast it away. So we become egoless. That is the sole aim of all the Vedanta, that we should be egoless. And this is the service, through service only, that is possible at very at the easy way. We give up our status, conceit, our name and form, and all that they demand from others. This process makes the chitta pure, chitta suddhi. The sadhana, the ultimate aim of all sadhana, what you call japa, dhyana, namasmarana, whatever thing is, the main is to make our chitta, the suddhi, and this through our seva, that we attain the chitta suddhi and pure. The seva, the process of seva, and this served becomes one. No distinction in pure seva. This is the grand purpose of seva. So let us have a small example how great saints also were involved, because the most important in seva is you should have not only kindness should give rise to compassion, means that should translate, your kindness should translate into action to help the other person. Because love, the service, if it has got the 2 wings, one is sacrifice, second is love. You should go for that. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa was there. He was doing his meditation under the Ganges riverside. So people were cutting grass with the knife. He was having lot of hairs on his chest. So when people were cutting the grass, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, from the chest, the lot of hairs were there. From there, blood was oozing. That was his identification. how compassionate he was. So that was, even if he's a great saint, he was also going for some service to the individual, their houses. When people were all sleeping, he wanted to clean their latrines and bathrooms. People were not allowing him. They were not giving him the broomstick, but he was having a long hair. He used to go and clean their latrines with his long hair. Long hair. That is the level of seva or service. And we have seen Mother Teresa, Florence Nightingale, who are the greatest example of seva. So through seva, we realize that all beings are waves of ocean of divinity, which is the main aim of all sadhanas, that all are one, be alike to everyone. No other sadhana can bring us into this incessant contemplation of the oneness of all living beings. We feel another's pain as our own and share another success as our own. We see everyone as our reflection and ourselves in everyone. That's what we say, that God is present in me, and same God is present in the people who we serve. So it is not the quantity what we serve, but how the quality with which we have served, with the heart with you have served. Then the greatest gift is the happiness in the face of the person whom we do the service. We see everyone as our reflection and ourselves in everyone. That is the core of the sadhana of seva. Seva makes the ego languish. It makes us humble before the suffering of others, and we rush to render help. We don't calculate how high or how low his social or economic status is. The hardest heart is slowly it's softened in the softness of butter while doing selfless seva. Seva is prescribed as one among the 9 steps towards God realization. We know that 9 steps are there. Samanam, Mananam, all these things, that 9 type of bhakti, where Dasya Bhava is also one among the 9 type of bhakti. And our Hanuman is an embodiment, the example of Dasya Bhava. And we know that he is a most powerful, most enlightened soul and most intelligent, because in the sloka we know Manojabam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Patatpadam Vanarajuta Mukhyam Sri Ramadutam Saranam Prabhati. That he is most powerful, and he has got all knowledge with him. So when he went to Lanka, Ravana's courtyard, Ravana asks him, "Who are you?" He doesn't say that he has got all qualities, adjectives. He only says, "Dasoham Kosalendrasya." He says, "I am the Dasa of Kosalendra. I am the Dasa of Rama." That is a Dasya Bhava. That means to what extent the Seva brings ego to the down to the bottom level, uprooted level, that he says, "I am Dasoham Kosalendrasya." Another example from Ramayana we can say that when he went to Lanka, there we say Vibhishana was uttering Rama's name, Ram, 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 he was telling. So when both of them met, then Vibhishana asked, "You are also devotee of Rama, I am also devotee of Rama. How come that you have become so close and I could not become, couldn't have the grace of Rama with me?" Then Hanuman says, "Okay, you are uttering Ram Nam, but what is that you have done to reduce his sorrow? His consort Sita is staying here. Did you do anything to it? Only Namasmarana will not do, not the name of the Lord, but at the same time, you should do something service for him. Mukh mein naam, hath mein kaam. You should go and do something for him." Then only came the change, and he did something and came to Rama for his surrender and started this one. So that's why it is called the hands that serve are holier than lips that pray. Hands that serve are holier than lips that pray. And head in the forest, hands in the society. Means head in the forest means that Bhakti Yoga, and hands in the society is Karma Yoga. These are all, we can say the tree root is required, and there if we water it, that is Bhakti Yoga. When it comes and grows, it becomes small unripened fruits is karma yoga. And when the jnana, the ultimatum is that fruits. So for that, the chitta suddhi should come. And this seva and the sadhana, all these things make us pure to attain that jnana yoga. So we are not here. That is the reason that seva is more important in our day-to-day life, and we should go for it. Seva is the best sadhana for eliminating the nefarious pull of the mind towards desire. Selfless service is more exalted means of spiritual progress than such other ways as meditation, bhajan, and yoga. Seva brings out all that is great in man. It broadens the heart and widens one's vision. It fills one with joy. It promotes unity. It proclaims the truth of the Atma spirit. It drives out all the evil qualities in man. It must be regarded as great spiritual discipline. We are born to serve, not to be served or to be dominate others. All relationships in the world, say from husband and wife, mother and child, employer and employee, teacher and the taught, are based on mutual service. If the principle of service did not operate, the world would come to a standstill. It is only when man is filled with the spirit of service, then his divine nature manifests and unfolds. Friends, we can ask, why should we do seva? After listening all these things, nature is our greatest teacher. We have to learn a lot of things from nature. And it is also said that in the Vyasas, it is written, Ashtadesha Puraneshu Vyasasya Vatanam Dvayam Paropakaraya Punyaya Papaya Parapidanam. If the quintessence of all 18 Puranas written, we can say, what is that one? Paropakaraya Punyaya. If it any punya, if you want to say that anything is there, that comes only from the Paropakaraya, by helping others. It is not necessarily the poor man or the whoever needs your help. He may be rich, but he may not be having a lot of money, but he may not be having food. He doesn't have the capacity to go and food. So if you give food to him, then he is happy. So Paropakaraya Punyaya Papaya Parapidanam. If any papa, any sin is there, that to hurt others, that's why it is said, always we should help ever and hurt never, love all and serve all. These are the quintessence of all the essence. Then what is that nature teaches us? We see that the sloka is there. Paropakaraya phalanti vrikshaha. Paropakaraya phalanti vrikshaha. Paropakaraya vahanti nadyaha. Paropakaraya dugdhanti gavaha. Paropakaraya vidam sariram. So, Paropakaraya phalanti vrikshaha. The trees give fruits. It doesn't take single fruit for itself, and it gives for humanity at large. And it never complains who takes its fruits. One who gives stone throw, and it never discriminates, and it gives lovingly. So, Paropakaraya phalanti vriksha. Paropakaraya vahanti nadyaha. The rivers, they don't say, they don't discriminate he or she or somebody. They go on giving service. Paropakaraya vahanti nadya and Paropakaraya dugdhanti gavaha. The cows, the Gomata we call it, that the calf hardly takes 1/4 liter or something, and it gives 5 liters, 6 liters. The milkman milks the cow and it sells it. It doesn't bother, it doesn't complain. So that is the lessons that we listen from the Gomata. The fruits, the rivers, the Gomata, the cow, and that's why it is said, Paropakaraya vidam sariram. So we should follow this one from the nature. Nature is our great teacher, and that's why we should go for it. And let us, in this context, I want to tell a story that has happened somewhere long back in the Gujarat saint Narsim Mehta. We know him. That time it was a tradition that people used to take the Ganges river from Himalayas or the Kashi to the Rameswaram. So they were taking in the pots. They were going by walk. like that, there was like as of today, there was no trains or flights or something. People used to walk miles and miles and miles and carrying this holy water, Ganges water. And that was a system that if you put the Ganges water in Rameswaram, your life will be liberated and you will get moksha. So the Narasimha Mehta was going on his way from Kashi to the Rameswaram. While on the way, he saw a donkey was suffering with thirsty and opening his mouth, it was dying. When seeing that scene, Narasimha Mehta could not tolerate and he asked all his disciples to put the water in the ass's mouth. All his disciples were asking, Guruji, what you are doing? We have to pour the sacred water in the Rameswaram. What is that you are doing? Then he says, I am seeing not the ass here, I am seeing the Rameswaram, the God Ishvara in this ass, and I don't want to take it there. When here he is suffering with thirst, I can't carry this water and give it there. So when he poured this, it was told, Lord Shiva appeared and blessed him, saying that this is the what we wanted. So that is the level of, that is the what is called punya of a service. Similarly, I can quote another story. In the Kashi, that Shivaratra was going on, Lord Shiva and Parvati were going on the sky. So Parvati complains. Parvati says, so many devotees are there. Oh Lord, there is no place in our Kailasa. All these people, if they get liberated, where is the place for us? Then Lord Shiva smiles and says, you examine, you see there who is the actual devotee or the actual servant. Then the both of them turned to be old man and old woman. Shiva as old man and Parvati as old woman. They were lying on the road and the woman was telling, my husband is dying, give him water, he is thirsty, and people were not obeying. They were going to have Abhisheka on Lord Shiva, from whom the Ganges has come, and we want to give some pot full of water on his Abhisheka on him. Some people were scolding. These people have no time, no reason, only on the roadside they are lying. What an scene we are seeing. So people were going and like this. So no, and they were the Shiva and Parvati who were in disguise, they were observing. At last came a thief, and he saw his heart was melted by seeing this pity condition. He says, and he comes and says, here is, he was carrying some water in his water bottle. I want to give water to you. Then Parvati, to test him again, he says, we won't take from everybody. If you have got any punya karma, any good deed you have done, you give that offering to us and give water. Then this thief says, I have not done anything good in my life. I have been doing this stealing and everything. If I have done any good thing, this is my first thing I am doing. Without that, I have not done anything. Saying this, he poured water into the mouth of the old man who was Shiva in disguise. So that with that, Parvati and Shiva, they appeared before him, and Shiva told, you see, among the thousands and lakhs of people, he is the only person who is eligible to come to Kailasa. So this is the level of Seva. This is the price of Seva. This is the glory of Seva. And with this Seva, we can do anything, because this is the easiest way to eliminate our ego when we are with others, when our heart melts with the sufferings of others, and God also feels happy for us. That's why it is said, Manava Seva, Madhava Seva, Manava Seva, Madhava Seva, Sabko Seva Karo. Manava Seva, Madhava Seva, Sabko Seva Karo. Bhajan bina sukha shanti nahi, Bhajan bina sukha shanti nahi, Hari bhajan karo, prema se sabko seva karo, prema se sabko seva karo, Hari bhajan karo. This is the essence of Seva. So easiest way, not undergoing the rigorous process of sadhana. We don't say that that's not required. They are also required, and this is also required. But So we can ask how we can do Seva, but in the FOSWL, we can go to some old age home and people are there. We can go and help them with some clothing, help them with some food, or we can go to hospital, visit our patients, and we can give them apples. They should feel that there is somebody behind us to take care for us. So this is the level of Seva. Seva is the highest sadhana in it is described. So whatever I know, I have said my feelings. Kindly excuse me for anything wrong in it. I request my Guruji Sarmagaru to supplement and add something points here. Thank you very much, Sarmagaru and President Sarmagaru, for giving me this opportunity. Kind
Very
of you
lovely.
all. Sorry for the interpretation in between. As you know,
No.
Sarmaji knows I am traveling here and there. So I thought of going to my home, but time was not there. I stayed in somebody's house. So some disturbances were there. Power cuts were there. Anyway, with all your blessings, this task could be completed. Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Very nice of you. What a wonderful lucid talk you have given to our members. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you very much, sir.